How to buy a property below market value. Hey, that sounds exciting, right? So we're going to show you right now the formula that I use to buy properties below market value and how you can too. So by doing this, you may actually be able to retire early, secure your financial future for you and your family and your children. These are important concepts I use every day to find property under market. The last one I bought, I'll tell you about, I have a potential of over $100,000 in profit. Stay with me till the end and I will show you the people that I get under market or off market deals from on a regular basis. Many of the properties I find, first of all, I find on Zillow. And I generally look in the same area of what I call my farm, or where I look for properties that are for sale that are of value. Typically, these properties are fixer-uppers in varying degrees of need of work, or they're people who have passed away, retired, or gone into a care home, and the family wants to dispose of the property because they're no longer going to be living there. Typically, they just want to get the things out of the property and sell the property. They don't want to clean it. They don't want to paint it. They don't want to get it ready as you may with your home that you're selling. These are people that don't want the property anymore. These people want to get their cash and they want to move on and take care of other matters. So I go on Zillow daily and look for properties that are for sale. And then typically what I do is I will call my realtor and I will have them write an offer, or I will call the listing agent and have the listing agent write the offer, because oftentimes the listing agent writing an offer for you, they get both sides of the commission. They're more motivated to put your deal together. I've used both. I've done both strategies. Writing with the listing agent often works, but sometimes they won't do it because they don't want to represent both sides. Sometimes they will. So I've used both. It would surprise you to know that just by looking on Zillow and paying attention, I get deals. Now, so you understand, I don't go look at the deal or have to walk through the deal or take multiple days to write an offer, okay? I call my realtor or I call the listing agent and we put an offer together immediately. I docu-sign it and I get it presented. Why? Time is of the essence when you're trying to get properties under market. You're not the only person looking at it. So you want to move. The reason most people don't get deals is they don't move quick enough, okay? By the time they show up, it's already been on the market 4, 5, 6 days. There's been properties that have been put on the market and within hours, the same day, I've had them in contract. I just did that last week. Property came on the market on a Sunday and I had it in contract on a Sunday. Same day, okay? So this is the sense of urgency you need to have. So that's one of the ways to get properties at below market prices. Now listen, I usually don't reveal this stuff to anyone, but I'm telling you because most of you are all over the United States, maybe all over the world, you're not going to compete with me. So make sure you subscribe, because what I'm telling you is how I made tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases, by moving quickly, writing with the listing agent, or writing with my agent who works with me on a regular basis and getting these properties. Which leads me to a big source of properties, which is realtors. I develop a network of realtors. If they bring me the deal, I write the deal with them, okay? If I find the deal, I'll typically write it with the listing agent. Sometimes I write it with my guy, my realtor, because the other person can't write the offer. They're a bank, or they're an institution, or they're an attorney, and they can't write. So that is one of the places I get deals, is realtors call me with deals and say, hey, you want this? Because they know I'll buy it as is, how is, where is, and I can get private money to finance the deal, or in some cases, pay cash. Usually I use private money, even if I have the cash, to conserve my cash for other deals. Attorneys is another way to get under market deals. Attorneys will have deals with estates or real estate that they want to dispose of. In some cases, they'll go ahead and offer it to the market directly. Instead of using a broker, they'll act as a broker and they'll put the property on the market. Estate attorneys commonly also have some authority to put properties on the market and dispose of them. So that's another source where you may find properties to buy. And as many of you know, there is marketing. You could go out and market for properties with ads on Facebook. If some of you have seen, I do this as well, where I'll say, if you're interested in buying your home, I'll give you an offer. And maybe you'll look at 10 homes and get one deal. That one deal may make you $20, $30, $40, $50,000 depending on the deal and what you're looking at, right? So off-market deals can also be found directly from people who don't want to sell through a realtor, or they just want to get rid of the property, or they don't want to deal with having to get the property ready for sale. They just want to get rid of it. Another source to find properties below market are incomplete construction projects. I've seen homes that were ripped apart by a previous investor and never finished. They were foreclosed on by lenders. So lenders sometimes have properties they want to get rid of, or properties that are just incomplete projects. They're sitting there and they want to get rid of them. Commonly, you can buy those below market and just come in and fix them and make money. Another way to get below market property is to get an analysis of the price per square foot, which is how many square feet is the property and how much does it cost. Do the math by dividing and finding out it's $250 a foot, it's $150 a foot, it's $300 a foot. And you'll get an average of the cost per square foot of that area. Then you say, well, if everything in the area is selling between $230 and $260 a square foot, and this is $190 a foot, well, there you go. There's a lot of gap there and upside in terms of what the market is and what they're selling it for right now. So that's another way that I get properties below market, is by analyzing where things are. Now, after a while, you know that a 1,200 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, built in the 50s and 60s, and your market should be around, in the Bay Area where I am, maybe 410, 420, 430. So if I see it at 420, and 430 and 440, I know that's retail. If I see it at 320, 330, 350, 360, I know that's below market. That I could buy that property, renovate it, redo it, and have upside. And oftentimes, a renovated property will get the higher of the market, sometimes even higher in a hot market like today on resale. Lastly, always look for a price per door when you're buying units. How much is the property per door? And can you buy it at a less cost? Having a unit, remodeling an apartment is not a big deal, but you can't remodel them if you don't own them, right? So you have to own them, and as you own them, you can remodel them, raise rents, put in tenants, pay market rent, and increase the value of your building, which is critical. Finally, one of the best ways to find real estate below market is to talk to people. I talk to everybody. I'm always talking to people, okay? What are they looking for? What's their problems? Do they have real estate they want to get rid of? Do they know somebody who has real estate they want to get rid of? When I was a chiropractor, I always talked to people about their health and about chiropractic and about how I may be able to help them. And real estate's the same. I'm always in real estate circles, talking to people. What are we doing? What are you buying? What are you selling? What's the market like? Do you have any listings coming up? I get calls all the time, or emails from brokers all the time, because I'm active in the market and I'm meeting and talking to people. Hey, I got this 9-unit I'm going to be listing. Why don't you check it out? See if you're interested. If you are, write it with me. Again, writing with the listing agent. I've got this house we don't want. See if you're interested. Go by, check it out. We're a lender. We took it back. We want $380,000 for it. Tell me if you want it or not. You should be able to figure out most property values without driving by the property. Always, of course, remember that if you write an offer, you have a few days to inspect it. So if you don't like it, you can say, I don't want it, right? So don't feel like you got to walk through every property in order to buy it, but at least go look at it before you put in your deposit, which is usually something that takes like 3 days. They give you 3 days in the contract to do. Don't be afraid to write contracts. I write contracts all the time. Doesn't mean I always buy everything. Doesn't mean I always get everything. But you're not going to get a property, you're not going to get a below market property if you don't write offers. Writing 10 offers and getting one accepted is okay. Don't wait for the one great deal and try to buy that one and not miss some of these other deals that are potentially profitable for you, or good rental properties for you to hold on to. Remember too that when you are writing an offer, try to show and provide documentation that you have loan approval if you're going to get a loan, so that the offer is accepted and they know that you have the down payment, proof of funds, and that you have a loan in place should they accept your offer. And that's very important these days, especially in a busy market like today. So after you buy that below market property, one of the things you may want to do is find a tenant, and we're going to talk about how to find a tenant for your house in the next video.